All right, guys, it's Brandon's from Brandon's Garages. So today we're going to take a JLT intake versus stock intake and see, does it make the car faster? We're going to compare 60 to 130 times between the two and kind of get an idea, are these dyno graphs that are being seen from DBM Racing and Paragon Performance, are they actually showing a real world gain or not? We've seen on the dyno that about 10 wheel horsepower overall horsepower gain, with some loss down low in torque, which the loss in torque looks like it might be pretty substantial, at least on Paragon's dyno graphs. And we saw some similar stuff on DBM's as well. So let's just take a look. We're going to take stock intake, run real quick, same air, immediately swap over to the JLT and see if we get any sort of gains on 60 to 130. So that's the plans for today. So we've got a JLT intake here ready to be installed. We're going to go do a pass real quick and kind of see. So stay tuned, it's gonna be a short vid, but we should hopefully maybe get some answers as to whether this intake's actually worth it or not. And by the way, I'm not sponsored by anybody, no JLT, none of this stuff. This is completely independent, so. So we've got our pass in. We did an 803 with a little bit of 1% slope. I've done low sevens before, the same car on that same road, just going the opposite direction, which is kind of a slight downslope. This is Draggy verified. One change I have made in the car since the previous passes are, I've got the canards now, which probably slowed it down just a little bit. So let's, and the engine was up to operating temp too. So I made sure that, you know, the red line was showing where it should, and it looked like it shifted around 8,400. But anyway, it's a little slower than I was expecting. I was expecting low sevens, and that was an 8.0. So maybe it's just the air today, I'm not sure. So stay tuned. We are going to swap this intake real quick, take it immediately back out. Should be repeatable conditions, and see if we get any improvement. Intake's off. See how nice his throttle bodies look. So anyways, I leave the front bolts out on mine just because I've taken on and off a bunch, so you might want to consider doing that if you're coming on and off a lot with intake. So that's kind of where we're at. So these pieces have to come off too, to the side, which is easy, because it replaces those on the new intake. So just keep that in mind. There's a good install video that is already up, so I'm not doing any of the install parts. So it's now off. I'm gonna start installing the gel. Okay, got all the parts swapped over. I went ahead and put in, swap the maps. Got our side pieces. Actually, I need to bolt that. Forgot to do that real quick. And then on here, you gotta put your heat shields. And then this front comes off, and then you mount right here. So you're gonna mount it from the inside. I haven't tightened any of that stuff yet, so I'm gonna set that on, tighten these, set it on, get that in there, and then I'll do the inner piece to push in. So. Okay, she's installed. Pretty straightforward. Swap all your parts. Keep this part off. push that part in. Once this is mounted, mount this, and then do the last part as a centerpiece. Otherwise, it's nothing too fancy. I've had it off a few times already before, so kind of already have an idea. So, all right, stay tuned. We'll do the 60 to 130 and see a final test. I'll have to let the car warm up for just a second, just like I did before, and then we'll get the 60 to 130. Okay, so post draggy run, here's our passes here. So we've got, this one was a 799, it's verified, 60 to 130. Now, keep in mind this is about 2.5 hours later, so temperature was probably 8 degrees, maybe 10 total tops, warmer, so it was slightly warmer, but almost identical times. 8:03 is earlier. Pretty consistently the same. I don't know what to make of this, so we're talking 2-hour difference in temperature climb, and actually 8 might be a generous thing. It's probably like 6 degrees, so we're talking a 6-degree difference. So did it make any difference? See, the pants wise, I can't tell anything, and if I'm being 100% honest, and maybe it's just in my head since I kind of already know the dyno pulls, I could feel like a torque drop in the low mid RPMs. Whenever it would shift down, I felt like it didn't have as much power after the shift, and that would correlate with what we're seeing on the dyno. Now, that could all be in my head because I had to predispose. I knew what those dyno results show, so maybe I was looking for that, but I definitely noticed something different on the shifts down low on these passes, and the times kind of show the same. So maybe the torque loss down low with the horsepower increase up high is just offsetting, and it's just basically running the same, and maybe slightly quicker if you want to make an argument that it's slightly warmer now, but otherwise the conditions are relatively the same, moisture, all that kind of stuff, all the same DA. So take it for what it is. So that's my comparison. You know, if everybody kind of gets together, we all do different things, we can all come up with a cumulative database of like whether this stuff actually makes the car any quicker or not. I'm going to the track next week and I'll have a general idea based on when I was there the last time. It's not gonna be apples to apples, but we'll at least know, is the car any quicker in the 8th mile? Is it mile an hour anymore? So I think temperature is supposed to be the same or similar to what it was the last time I went. So that'll give us another data point. So here's another data point for the others. So take it for what you will. I don't see much of a difference.